Greetings, everyone. Just want to introduce everybody to this SMR podcast series. Today we are with Professor Anna Longo. This podcast will introduce the up and coming course of hers as part of SMR's integrated credit program this December/January entitled Living Currency, Klossowski and Affective Economy. We'll discuss briefly what it's about, as well as give the prospective viewers or listeners at a different time a glimpse of some of the philosophical topics and queries which will be addressed therein. Thus, we'll just sort of have a short discussion with Professor Longo about the course, who has generously given us her time today without going into too much depth overall. Before giving her the floor, I just want to quickly introduce both the School Materialist Research and Professor Longo herself. Let's just also quickly add that you can find all of the details about the course as part of the integrated credit program on the School Materialist website, schoolmaterialistresearch.org. So SMR, or the School of Materialist Research, is an education and research inter-university grassroots platform that offers integrated credit programs, seminars, special programs, and research initiatives that address the materialisms running through contemporary science, philosophy, art, mathematics, design, architecture, and politics. SMR was founded by the Center for Philosophical Technologies at Arizona State University, the Institute of Social Sciences and Humanities Skopje, the Department of Architecture, Theory, and Philosophy of Technics at TU Wien, and the Critical Inquiry Lab at the Design Academy Eindhoven, and serves as a global hub for education, research, and experimentation at the intersection of the humanities, social sciences, creative fields, and the STEM sciences. Now moving on to Professor Anna Longo. She obtained her PhD in aesthetic philosophy at University Paris 1. She is adjunct at CalArts in LA, a member of the Collège International de Philosophie, and instructor of the New Center for Research and Practice. She has been researching at the crossing of metaphysics, epistemology, and aesthetics. She's been the author and editor of several books, such as The Genesis of the Transcendental, Breaking the Spell, Speculative Realism Under Discussion, and Time Without Becoming. So without any further introductions, I'll just pass the floor over to Professor Longo to just start off by briefly introducing the course itself.
Thank you, Zachary. So this course, as you said, will be on Pierre Klossowski, in particular this essay, which is called Living Currency. Uh, and we will try to compare these ideas, these Klossowski's intuitions, to the more contemporary discussion about affective economy, the economy of affects. Uh, So first, I think it's important to introduce a little bit his figure. So Pierre Klossowski, who is basically a novelist, um, and he's well known, at least in France, for his novels, which were really influential. It was really appreciated by Deleuze, by Foucault, and also by Jean-François Lyotard, who were also inspired by this essay, which is the Living Currency, which is an essay he wrote in 97 about economics in some way. So this text inspired Jean-François Lyotard's libidinal economy and Gilles Deleuze desiring economy. So the reason is that Klossowski considered that capitalism is basically coming from a sort of passion or drive, no? So it's an expression in some way of desire. So the Klossowski was really the first person who introduced this important idea, which is discussed in the Living Currency. But of course, according to Klossowski, there is capitalism is an expression of desire, but it is at the same time a sort of desire repressing itself, no? And he thinks that the tool for doing this is money, the currency. So he really tried to explain how the users of money, it's a way for um, making, of course, to hide in some way this sort of commerce of affects, this exchange of bodies, which is at the base of economy. And to do this, he tried to compare, of course, this capitalist exchange of affects, of commerce of affects, with the Marquis de Sade perversion. So he tried to reverse the story and to try to see if it was possible to have an effective economy inspired by Fourier, Charles Fourier. So this idea, which is inspiring for utopic socialism, about a free exchange of passions, of feelings, of affects. And he thinks that the hypothesis of a living currency would be a way to actualize the utopia of Charles Fourier. So the hypothesis is we can consider people like currency, like living currencies. So what we will do in the class is, of course, try to delve into the text because it's really complex. And it's not easy to read it. So we will really try to go through the text to understand it very well. And then we will try to open the text to think about our contemporary situation. And in particular, we will compare it with this idea of an affective economy that was formulated first by Tony Negri, talking about the economy related to social media and platforms, no, where he says, okay, maybe today there is this exchange of affects because we construct new communities in some way. There is this desire for constructing community, for sharing, for liberating identities, not to have a free way of constructing collective identities. So we will try to see if actually we can say that um, in contemporary capitalism we have a sort of turn toward a more an organization which is more similar to the Charles Fourier's utopia, saying, okay, maybe capitalism is transforming itself toward an economy of affects. Maybe we have some hope, no? So we will try to see if it's true, to what extent, we can say that it's a possibility. So we will use the, um, the intuition or the ideas from Pierre Klossowski to try to understand this question.
All right. Thank you so much for that detailed explanation of what will be going on within your course itself. I know within the description of your course, and also you sort of just touched on it now, but you're talking about these sort of evolutions of capitalism itself and sort of how this relates to affect. Is there sort of one sort of foundation or fundamental evolution which is occurring within capitalism right now? And is this sort of linked to technology and the digital? And does this sort of play a key role with affect, or is it sort of just a more rhizomic sort of evolutionary spread and all sorts of different things are happening? And
The question, I mean, there is no really an answer. I think that what is important is try to think about this. And I think that in the course we will try to provide some tools for think about
Hmm.
this. So of course there is a transformation of capitalism. So we what we are seeing now is maybe a crisis of neoliberalism. No, so neoliberalism was at the beginning when Klossowski wrote his text. So I think that his reflections are in some way related to this transformation of capitalism into neoliberalism. Today we are at the crisis of neoliberalism in some way. I don't know if neoliberalism is going to end or it's just a crisis, so we cannot say what is going on. What we can try to do is try to analyze the situation, no? So
Hmm.
to try to understand what the situation is.
Perfect. Thank you. Also, you spoke of sort of liberation and, or yeah, liberating an economy. Also, I suppose libidinal economy at the same time, in reference to Fourier as well. And you also speak of sort of emotional exploitation. So if you could just slightly expand upon what emotional exploitation is and sort of what being liberated from this would sort of, or some sort of idea of what some potential liberation from this.
Yeah, so I think that um, capitalism is really expanding the idea of merchandise to everything, also to affects.
Mhm.
So there is this concept which is introduced by Eva Illouz, which is the affective merchandise. And she says that basically today we consume affective merchandises because we buy things to instantiate specific moods, specific feelings. No,
Mhm.
so she makes the example of the villages for tourists, no, where you buy a all experience. So you buy the possibility of relaxing, no, and these products are emotional products. They really are meant to provoke an emotional state.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Just to quickly touch on something else you said earlier as well, the sort of relation or um, maybe reciprocal relation or correlation between desire and the stifling of desire or something of this within capitalism as well, and especially in relation to money. Because on the one hand, it seems though, yeah, capitalism sort of breeds, at least in a sort of Marxist way, or a sort of drive for infinite surplus over and against the use value of an item. But on the same hand, yeah, attempts to satisfy with use. And I'm not sure precisely where Klossowski stands on this relation or where you stand precisely, but maybe if you could just expand on that a little bit if possible.
Yeah, it's a different way of conceiving economy. So it's not just conceiving economy as based on the exchange of objects, but the basic idea is that um, behind the exchange of objects, there is an exchange of desire, and there is an exchange, according to Klossowski's, for example, there is an exchange of bodies. So it has economy at the original economy, so economy
Hmm.
in itself is based on exchange of affects, exchange of bodies. Um, and he says that capitalism is just one of the possible markets for bodies and for affects and for passion. So um, there is so capitalism is just one of the possible expression of an affective economy, which is at the base of the human commerce.
All right. Thanks. And just on a similar line, um, you say about Kowalski that affect and not work is central. Um, uh, yeah, if you could sort of explain, well, just very briefly, for the listeners, what precisely the difference in this case would be, and whether there's effective work or if work is, I don't know, somehow itself, um, I don't know, effective or something of this sort, or if they're just disparate things, and then in this new conception of economy, that it's just a sort of outdated category or something of this sort.
So the no, but of course, um, from the standpoint of Klossowski, but also from the standpoint of Deleuze, who was inspired by Klossowski, everything is production.
Hmm.
So there is an effective production, no?
Yeah, yeah.
A production also of the self, no? Then the difference is when this kind of production is a production which is owned by the producer or it's captured, no? So in capitalism we have work, but work does not express really the passion of an affect of a person, no?
Mhm.
Because it's something which is a sort of general force, general workforce, no?
Mhm.
So workers are no more able to express their own passion in work. So they have to buy merchandises in order to express themselves, no, for their passions, no. So there is this sort of substitution.
All right, thanks for that. That is very helpful. I think pa, pa, pa. At this point, that is sort of a good place to stop. Just a nice little teaser for everybody. So thank you so much again for agreeing to teach this course and agreeing to do this very short podcast. If there's anything more you want to say, otherwise we could end it here.
I think it's okay. I'm really looking forward for this class.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.